During this tutorial, we're going to take you from design or a sketch into actually making it into a Torchmate file. That way you can take it out to the CNC and cut it. This is my bell wind chime that I designed. I'll show you how I designed it, and that way you can apply it to your design. First step is when you open your program, you'll see a blank sheet. You're going to want to go to Layout and Material Size to set your size. You're going to have a 12-inch by 12-inch piece of material to cut this from. So down here in dimensions, type in 12 by 12. Click OK. Up on the ruler you should be able to see that your square goes from 0 to 12. Our first step that we're going to do is we're going to learn how to draw some simple shapes. If I hover over any of these icons, it will tell you what it does. So the first one is the shape tools. I'm going to draw a triangle. Now I don't have a triangle in here per se, but a triangle is a polygon. And it's only a three-sided polygon. So for me, since this is the bell type that I'm going to make, I'm going to put a three-sided polygon. Click onto the screen and drag. And I'm going to try and get the base of my triangle as horizontal as possible. Doesn't matter what size right now because I'm going to change it later. Click on the open area, and there it turns off the drawing portion. I only want to see the lines, so I'm going to turn off shading. In View, click on Show Fill to deselect it, and there you can just see the 2D lines. My bell that I'm going to make is 5 inches wide and 10 inches tall. Now if you noticed, I typed in 5 inches wide and the height also changed. That's because it's locked, or its proportional scaling is set. So if I change my x-axis, I'm going to change my y at the same time. So unlock this. And for me, I'm going to type in 10 inches. I'm going to take this and bring it down so it's right on my 0, and you can see it kind of turns pink there when it snaps to it. And right there is the bottom corner of my triangle is right on 0. I just do that to make sure that I have it in the right location. Because this is a triangle, it's going to be a fully enclosed bell, I need to duplicate this so that then I can draw on it later. I have 3 sides. Go up to Edit, click on Duplicate. You could also see in there that there's a short key of Control D. So if you selected the item, hold Control and press D, it will also duplicate that. I'm going to push these off to the side just so they're off out of the way. Now I'm going to draw another shape. I want to insert a star into this one by my sketch anyway. So if I go to my simple shapes, star, let's do a 7-sided star. And just like the triangle, click and drag to an appropriate size. I want to have the point up, not down. And so I'm going to try and have my bottom points as equal as possible. And from here I can position it, resize it, make it where I want. Now I want this star to be center with my actual triangle. The easiest way to do this is to select both the star and your outer triangle. To do this, make sure you select your object, hold Shift, and select the other object. Now you can go to Layout, Arrange and Distribute, Align to Selected, and Centers horizontally. That way on my x-axis they're centered. Looks pretty good. Now I want to show you, when I go to View and click on Show Fill, that star disappears. Our program doesn't know that it should have a hole there the shape of a star. So we're going to tell it to do that. So I'm going to turn my Show Fill off again. Right now I'm just going to click and drag a box around everything. That's another way to select more than one item. Now I can go to Arrange and Make Path. So what this did is say, well, this is actually one object, and you should have a hole right there in the shape of that star. So now if I go to View and Show Fill, you can see that if this black was steel, it's going to want to cut a hole the shape of a star in the steel. Please know that I left some distance in between the tip and the outer edge of the triangle for some steel to be. You don't want that to be too thin, otherwise it will cut through it. You need to have at least 1/8 of an inch in between any object for it to survive with the plasma. And otherwise it could just melt right off. Okay, there's our first triangle.